So we've traveled down to our, what we call our 3D archives here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You know, we always say when a guest goes on a tour, they only see about 5% of our collection. 95% of it is down here in artifact archives, and we make sure to do everything we can to help with the preservation, because it's our goal to have not just preserve these artifacts in our lifetime, but for future generations to enjoy. This was Danny Abramowitz's helmet, and at one point he held the record for most consecutive games with a reception. You might have seen him on NFL films on the bloopers back in the 70s. He was featured quite a bit, and you can actually see this is where he hit the camera and it caused this crack. This is Doug Williams' helmet. Before his days with the Redskins, he played with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and this is his helmet from 1978. It's got this extra caging on it, and that's because he had a broken jaw, and instead of just going on the injured list, he continued to play. So he was a real, one of the toughest quarterbacks that certainly ever played. This pair of shoulder pads belonged to Jim Brown, and you can see the Brown written on here, and he wore this in the early 1960s. With the Cleveland Browns, arguably one of the greatest players to ever play. The Rams were quite ecstatic to hire Jeff Fisher. They had a Jeff Fisher stash day, and they set the Guinness Book World Records for most artificial mustaches. They had over 50,000 of their fans wear these mustaches, and they sent a few of them here to the Hall of Fame. We even have a piece of Lambeau Field when they remodeled or redid the surface. They took chunks out of the dirt and sold them to fans. This is the clock that the league used at the NFL draft. They just redesigned the set. This had been in use for about 15 years at Radio City Music Hall. This is George Preston Marshall's fur coat. He was a very flamboyant owner for the Redskins, and he wore this fur coat. We even got coats from the turn of the century. This is a canvas football vest. This is one of the oldest pieces we have. You know, you always think of the Hall of Fame, you think of the past, but we're also collecting artifacts from the NFL's recent history. Example of that is these two footballs signed by Jim and John Harbaugh when they coached against each other in a Thanksgiving night game in 2011. We asked them to send a game ball from the game from each team. The Ravens, this is their game ball, signed by John Harbaugh, and this is the 49ers game ball signed by Jim Harbaugh. So that gives you an idea of some of the things you'll find here at the Hall of Fame. We hope you make your trip out here. We're open 364 days out of the year. We're only closed Christmas. Thanks for coming.